The chair by the sink. I wasn't supposed to be in the kitchen. Not on my brother's wedding day. Not while music floated through the house like happiness itself. Not while laughter spilled from the living room warm and loud, as if there were room for everyone in it. But there I was, seated on a hard wooden chair by the sink, hands folded in my lap, staring at a stack of dirty plates that didn't belong to me. I could hear the wedding. I just wasn't allowed to be part of it. The chair creaked when I shifted my weight. No one noticed. They were too busy celebrating Daniel, my younger brother, the golden child, the miracle son, the one who could do no wrong. And today he was marrying Lily. Everyone loved Lily. Everyone except, apparently, the people who decided where I should sit. It started earlier that morning, when I arrived with a wrapped gift and a cautious smile. I'd spent weeks debating whether I should come at all. Daniel and I hadn't spoken much in the past year. Not since our mother passed, not since everything went quiet and complicated. But he'd invited me. "Of course I want you there," he'd said on the phone. "You're my sister." So I came. I wore the blue dress Mom used to love. The one she said brought out my eyes. I did my hair myself, simple and neat, and even put on lipstick, something I hadn't done in months. I wanted to look like I belonged. When I stepped into the house, it was already full. Chairs lined the walls. Flowers everywhere. The smell of food, roast chicken, warm bread, cinnamon, wrapped around me like a memory. Someone brushed past me without saying hello. Someone else glanced at me, then looked away. I told myself I was imagining things. I found Daniel in the back room adjusting his tie. When he saw me, his face lit up just a little. "You made it," he said. "Of course," I replied. "I wouldn't miss it." He hugged me, quick and awkward. Over his shoulder, I saw Lily's mother watching us. Her smile was tight, calculated. "Listen," Daniel said quietly, "before we begin. If you enjoy stories that touch the heart and remind us of life's quiet miracles, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. It truly helps our little storytelling family grow." Pulling back. "There's been a little confusion with seating." "Oh," I said, still smiling. He scratched the back of his neck. "It's just today's kind of full. Lily's family is large and—" "It's fine," I said too quickly. "I don't need anything special." He hesitated. "You can sit in the kitchen for now. Just until we sort things out." "The kitchen?" I laughed lightly like it was a joke. "Sure." He kissed my cheek and disappeared before I could say anything else. That was how it happened. No announcement. No explanation. Just a chair by the sink. First, I told myself it didn't matter. I could still hear the ceremony through the open doorway. I could still see people pass by with plates of food, glasses of champagne. I watched as strangers took seats in the living room. People I didn't recognize, friends of friends, distant relatives of Lily's family. Every seat filled. No one came for me. A woman I barely knew handed me a tray of napkins and said, "Could you hold these?" I did. Another asked if I could rinse a few glasses. I did that too. By the time the vows started, my hands smelled like soap and lemon. I stood by the counter listening. "I, Daniel, take you, Lily." My brother's voice cracked with emotion. People cried. People clapped. I leaned against the fridge so I wouldn't cry too. I wasn't sad because he was getting married. I was sad because somehow I'd become invisible. As applause thundered from the other room, I sat back down in the chair by the sink. My chest felt tight, like something was pressing from the inside. I thought of Mom. She would have noticed immediately. She would have walked straight into the kitchen, taken my hand and said loudly, "Why is my daughter sitting here?" Mom didn't whisper when something was wrong. I swallowed hard. Then I noticed my phone buzzing in my lap. A message. "Aunt Maria, I don't see you. Where are you sitting?" I stared at the screen for a long moment. Then I typed, "Kitchen." 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. "Aunt Maria." "What do you mean, kitchen?" I didn't answer. Because suddenly something inside me shifted. This wasn't just awkward. This wasn't just an oversight. This was a choice. And for the first time that day, I felt anger rise, slow and steady like heat under my skin. I looked around the kitchen. The stacked dishes. The empty counter space. The back door leading out to the quiet yard. And then I heard Lily's mother laugh loud, satisfied, from the living room. That laugh unlocked something. I reached for my phone again. Not to text. To call. I scrolled past names until I found the one I needed. My thumb hovered over the screen. My heart pounded. Because I knew that once I made this call, nothing would stay the same. I pressed the button. "Hello?" came the voice on the other end. "Hi," I said softly. "It's me." A pause. Then, "Are you okay?" I looked down at my hands, at the faint redness from hot water and soap. "No," I said. "I'm really not." The music in the other room swelled, joyful and loud. But in the kitchen, something else was beginning. And before the cake was cut, before the speeches were finished, one phone call was about to change everything. The voice on the other end. "Where are you right now?" the voice asked. I stepped away from the sink and leaned against the pantry door, lowering my voice. "In the kitchen. At Daniel's wedding." There was a pause. Not the kind filled with confusion, but with disbelief. "The kitchen," she repeated. "As in not seated?" I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding. "There are no seats left for me." Silence. Then softly, "Stay where you are." Those 3 words sent a chill through me. "Why?" I asked. "Because," she said, "this isn't okay." I ended the call and slipped my phone back into my pocket just as Lily's cousin breezed in, heels clicking across the tile. "Oh good," she said, spotting me. "Can you help bring out the appetizers?" She didn't wait for an answer. I picked up the tray she pointed to, small pastries arranged carefully, probably made by someone who didn't know the bride well enough to care. As I carried them toward the living room, the noise hit me all at once. Laughter. Glasses clinking. Someone cheering. The ceremony was over now, and people were mingling freely. I scanned the room. Daniel stood near the fireplace, Lily beside him, glowing in white. His arm was around her waist. He looked happy. Truly happy. I told myself not to interrupt. I told myself I could wait. I placed the tray down on a side table and stepped back. No one noticed. A woman reached over my shoulder to grab a pastry, nearly knocking into me. "Sorry," she said without looking. I returned to the kitchen. My phone buzzed again. "Aunt Maria. I'm coming to find you." I stared at the message. "Please don't," I typed. "It's fine." The lie tasted bitter. I turned the phone face down just as Daniel's best man walked in, loosening his tie. "Hey," he said, glancing at me. "You're Daniel's sister, right?" "Yes," I said. He nodded toward the sink. "Think you could wash a few more glasses? We're running low." For a second I couldn't speak. Then I smiled. "Sure." The word sure had been my shield for years. "Sure, I'll handle it. Sure, it's okay. Sure, I don't mind." I washed the glasses slowly, listening to the party continue without me. That was when the back door creaked open. I looked up. A woman stepped inside, rain-spotted coat draped over one arm, eyes scanning the room like she was searching for something important. For someone. When her gaze landed on me, her expression changed instantly. There was no hesitation. She crossed the kitchen in 3 long strides. "There you are," she said. "Aunt Maria," I whispered. She pulled me into a hug before I could react. Tight. Protective. The kind of hug that says I see you. I felt my throat close. "What are you doing back here?" she asked, pulling away to look at my face. "I'm helping," I said weakly. Her eyes flicked to the sink, the stacks of dishes, the chair by the counter. Then her jaw tightened. "Who told you to sit here?" I shrugged. "It was just easier." "For who?" she asked. Before I could answer, Lily's mother appeared in the doorway. "Oh," she said, smiling thinly. "You must be Maria." "I am," Aunt Maria replied, not smiling back. And you must be the woman who decided my niece belongs in the kitchen. The air changed. Lily's mother laughed lightly. Oh, don't be dramatic. She offered to help. I opened my mouth to correct her, but Aunt Maria lifted a hand gently, telling me not to speak. Let me be very clear, Aunt Maria said, her voice calm but firm. She did not offer to be excluded. Lily's mother's smile stiffened. This is a wedding. Emotions run high. There simply weren't enough seats. Funny, Aunt Maria said. I counted 6 empty chairs in the living room. Silence. I stared at the floor. I think, Lily's mother said slowly, this conversation would be better had somewhere else. No, Aunt Maria replied. This is exactly where it should happen. A few people nearby had started to notice. Voices quieted. Someone paused mid-laugh. Daniel appeared at the edge of the room. What's going on? He asked. Aunt Maria turned to him. Daniel, she said, did you know your sister has been sitting in the kitchen since your ceremony began? His face drained of color. What? He looked at me. Is that true? I hesitated, then nodded. He looked from me to Lily's mother, then to Lily, who had joined him now, her brows furrowed. I didn't know, he said quickly. I swear. I thought that there were no seats? Aunt Maria finished. That's interesting because I saw plenty. Daniel swallowed hard. Lily spoke up. Mom, did you? Lily's mother waved a hand dismissively. This is being blown out of proportion. No, Aunt Maria said. It's being seen clearly. The room was quiet now. Uncomfortably so. Daniel stepped closer to me. Why didn't you say something? I looked at him. Really looked. You were busy, I said softly. His eyes filled with something like shame. I didn't want to ruin your day, I added. Aunt Maria placed a hand on my shoulder. Sometimes, she said, silence ruins things more. Lily's mother crossed her arms. Are we really going to cause a scene over seating? Aunt Maria's eyes flashed. No, she said. We're going to correct a disrespect. She turned to Daniel. Your sister belongs with your family. Where would your mother have sat her? The mention of Mom hit him hard. He closed his eyes briefly. Then he straightened. Everyone, he said, his voice louder now. We need to make room. Lily's mother protested. Daniel. I said make room. People shifted. Chairs scraped against the floor. Someone stood up awkwardly. Daniel took my hand. Come sit with us, he said. As we walked into the living room, I felt every pair of eyes on me. But something had changed. My phone buzzed again in my pocket. I glanced at the screen. Unknown number, we need to talk. Now, I frowned, because I already knew who it was. And I knew this wasn't over. Not even close. What was never said. The chair Daniel offered me wasn't comfortable. It was padded, soft, and placed near the front. But my body didn't know how to relax in it. My back stayed straight. My hands rested neatly in my lap, just like they had in the kitchen. People smiled at me now. Too brightly. Too late. Lily squeezed my hand as I sat down. I'm really sorry, she whispered. I didn't know. I believed her. Lily wasn't cruel, just sheltered. Raised in a family where things were handled quietly, selectively, and always in their favor. I know, I said. Daniel cleared his throat. Everyone, let's enjoy the rest of the evening. Music resumed, though not quite as loudly. Conversation picked up, but something lingered in the air like dust after a door slam. I felt my phone vibrate again. Unknown number. Please respond. I didn't, because I already knew the voice behind that number. And I wasn't ready. Not yet. I needed a moment to breathe. But the past has a way of arriving without asking. I excused myself under the pretense of needing air and stepped out onto the back porch. The evening was cool, the sky pale with the last light of day. The laughter inside sounded distant now, muffled by walls and truth. I leaned against the railing and finally looked at my phone. 3 missed calls. All from the same number. I pressed call. It rang once. Then, you finally answered. Her voice hadn't changed. Still smooth. Still controlled. Why are you calling me today? I asked. I could ask you the same, she said. I hear you made a scene. I closed my eyes. I didn't make a scene. I made a call. A breath. Sharp. You had no right. I laughed quietly. Funny. That's exactly what you said back then, too. Silence stretched. I didn't expect Maria to show up, she said finally. So you knew, I replied. You knew I was in the kitchen. Another pause. I assumed you were helping. Assumed, I repeated. Or decided. She didn't answer. The door behind me creaked. Daniel stepped outside. Who are you talking to? He asked. I hesitated, then turned so he could hear. You tell him, I said into the phone. Tell him why you called me. A sharp inhale on the other end. I don't owe you. You owe us, I interrupted. Daniel's face tightened. Who is that? I swallowed. It's Mom's sister, I said. The one we don't talk about. His eyes widened. No, he whispered. Yes, I said. Aunt Claire. The name alone felt heavy. She had been the favorite, the responsible one, the one who handled finances when Mom got sick, the one who promised to take care of things, the one who disappeared shortly after the funeral. What does she want? Daniel asked. To remind me, I said, that I should stay quiet. I put the phone on speaker. Claire, Daniel said, his voice shaking. Why are you calling my sister on my wedding day? There it was. The truth couldn't hide now. I didn't think you needed to be involved, Claire said coolly. Daniel laughed once, bitter. You never do. I leaned against the railing as memories rushed back. The hospital room. The papers. The way Mom squeezed my hand and whispered, don't let them forget you. I tried to tell you, I said into the phone. I tried after Mom died. You were emotional, Claire replied. Confused. You took the house, Daniel said slowly. I managed the estate, Claire corrected. And I got nothing, I said. You were provided for, she snapped. Leftovers aren't provision. Aunt Maria's voice cut in from behind us. We both turned. She stood in the doorway, arms crossed, eyes sharp. You're on speaker, Claire, she said. In case you were wondering. Claire sighed. Maria, please. This is family business. Exactly, Aunt Maria said. Which is why it shouldn't have been handled in secret. Daniel ran a hand through his hair. You said Mom left everything to you. She trusted me, Claire said. She trusted you to be fair, I replied. Not to erase me. The truth was ugly, but it was finally out. Mom had wanted the house split. Half to Daniel. Half to me. Claire had changed the narrative. By the time we figured it out, the papers were signed. The house sold. And I was told to move on. I didn't want to cause problems, Claire said. You're sensitive. You always have been. Aunt Maria scoffed. Sensitive people notice injustice. That's not a flaw. The porch was silent except for distant music. Daniel's voice broke. You lied to me. I simplified, Claire said. I ended the call. My hands were shaking. Daniel turned to me. Why didn't you tell me all this? I did, I said softly. You didn't want to hear it. He flinched. Aunt Maria placed herself between us, grounding. You were grieving, she told him. So was she. But grief doesn't justify silence forever. Inside, the music stopped. The speeches were about to begin. Daniel looked back through the door, then at me. I need to fix this, he said. I shook my head. Not tonight. Yes, he said. Tonight. Because sometimes the truth doesn't wait for convenient timing. And the call I made from the kitchen, it wasn't about a chair. It was about everything that came after. When the music stopped, the microphone was already in Daniel's hand when we walked back inside. Someone had announced it was time for speeches, and the room had gathered itself. Chairs angled forward, glasses refilled, smiles rehearsed. No one expected anything more than a toast. No one expected truth. Daniel stood beside Lily, his arm around her, but his body was rigid. He looked out over the room and then down at me, standing just a few steps behind him. I gave a small shake of my head. This wasn't what I wanted, but it was what needed to happen. He cleared his throat. I want to thank everyone for being here, he began, his voice steady but strained. This day means more to me than I can put into words. Applause followed. Polite. Warm. Lily smiled up at him. Then he didn't continue. He looked at the floor. Then at me. There's something else I need to say, he continued. Something I should have said a long time ago. The room quieted. I felt Aunt Maria's hand on my back. When our mother died, Daniel said, I thought I was protecting my family by avoiding conflict. My heart pounded. But tonight, he said, I realized that silence can hurt more than honesty. Lily stiffened slightly. Her mother shifted in her seat. I have a sister, Daniel said, his voice thickening. And today, she was placed in the kitchen during my wedding. A murmur rippled through the room. I wanted to disappear. She didn't complain, he continued. She didn't make demands. She did what she's always done. She made herself small so others could feel comfortable. That landed. People shifted. Some looked at me now, not with pity but with recognition. And that's on me, Daniel said, because I let it happen, just like I let other things happen. Lily squeezed his hand. I want to say this clearly, he said. My sister belongs at the table. In my life. In my family. Applause broke out. Scattered at first. Then stronger. Lily's mother did not clap. I also want to apologize, Daniel added, turning to me, for not listening when you needed me to. My eyes burned. He set the microphone down and stepped toward me. The room watched as he pulled me into a hug. This time it wasn't awkward. It was real. When he released me, Lily stepped forward. I want to say something too, she said, taking the microphone. Her voice was softer but clear. I didn't know what was happening today, she said. And I'm sorry for that. But I do know this. No one in this family should feel invisible. She turned toward her mother. That includes her. Lily's mother's lips pressed into a thin line. The room was silent. Then Lily continued. If we're starting a marriage today, we're starting it with honesty. A few people nodded. Someone whispered, Good for her. Lily handed the microphone back to Daniel and stepped away. Music resumed slowly, cautiously, like it was testing the room. But something had changed. People approached me now. Quiet apologies. Squeezes of my hand. Murmured. I didn't realize. I nodded, accepted, but my mind was elsewhere. Because this wasn't just about today. This was about years. And there was one person missing from the room. Claire. She hadn't come to the wedding. But her shadow had. Aunt Maria leaned in close. You okay? I nodded. I think so. She smiled sadly. This is what healing looks like. Messy. The evening continued, but the edge remained. Conversations were gentler. Laughter less careless. Later, as the cake was being cut, Lily's mother approached me. Her smile was forced. I hope there are no hard feelings, she said. I met her eyes. There are, I said calmly. But they aren't permanent. She didn't know what to do with that. She nodded once and walked away. Daniel joined me, holding 2 plates of cake. I remembered, he said, handing me one. Chocolate. Your favorite. I smiled. You remembered. I want to make things right, he said quietly. About Mom. About the house. I shook my head. We'll talk later. He nodded. Okay. As the night wore on, I felt lighter. Not because everything was fixed, but because everything was finally seen. Near the end of the night, my phone buzzed one last time. A message from Claire. "You embarrassed me." I stared at the words, then deleted them. Because for the first time in a long time, I wasn't interested in protecting someone else's comfort. I slipped my phone back into my bag and returned to the room. The music was louder now. People were dancing. And for the first time that day, I joined them. The seat that was always mine. The wedding ended the way weddings usually do. Shoes kicked off. Laughter turned soft and tired. Leftover cake wrapped in foil and pressed into waiting hands. But I left with something else. I left with my name spoken out loud. In the weeks after Daniel and Lily's wedding, people reached out. Not all of them, not perfectly, but enough to matter. Some apologized. Some said nothing but acted differently. And some disappeared. That told me everything I needed to know. Daniel called me 3 days later. "Can we talk?" he asked. We met at a small cafe near the park. The one Mom used to like because it had mismatched chairs and always smelled like cinnamon. Daniel looked older somehow. Quieter. "I went through the papers," he said. "All of them." I stirred my coffee slowly. "She wanted it split," he continued. "The house. Everything." I nodded. "I know." He swallowed. "Claire changed it." "Yes." He looked at me then. Really looked. "I should have believed you." I reached across the table and squeezed his hand. "You're here now." He exhaled. "I'm going to make it right." It wasn't easy. Claire fought back. Quietly at first. Then loudly. There were emails. Phone calls. Threats dressed as concern. But truth has a way of surviving documentation. 6 months later, Daniel handed me an envelope. Inside was a check. Not charity. Justice. We didn't talk about Mom that day. We didn't have to. I used part of the money to move into a small place of my own. Nothing fancy. Just light-filled and quiet. On the first night there, I sat on the floor with a takeout box and felt something I hadn't felt in years. Safe. Aunt Maria came over the next weekend. She walked through every room like she was blessing it. "This," she said, tapping the wall gently, "is what happens when you stop shrinking." Daniel and Lily visited often. Lily brought plants. Too many. Daniel fixed a shelf that didn't need fixing. We learned how to be siblings again, not the polite version but the honest one. As for Claire, she stopped calling. Then she stopped being mentioned. Not out of cruelty. Out of clarity. Some people don't leave your life in a dramatic way. They just stop having access. One evening, months later, Daniel and Lily hosted a small dinner. Nothing fancy. Just family. As we gathered around the table, Lily pulled out an extra chair. She placed it beside hers. "For you," she said. I laughed. "I'm already sitting." "I know," she said. "But still." I understood. Because that chair, it wasn't about furniture. It was about belonging. Later that night, as we cleared the dishes together, Lily leaned over and whispered, "I'm glad you made that call." "So am I," said. Because that call wasn't about confrontation. It was about permission. Permission to speak. Permission to take up space. Permission to stop apologizing for existing. I think of that kitchen sometimes. The chair by the sink. The moment I decided I was done being quiet. And I know this now. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is make one call from the place they tried to hide you.